There is a metal in this world that is lighter than steel, sharper than any razor, and so rare that great houses guarded it for centuries like treasure. It does not rust, it does not dull, and in the darkest stories, it was not forged with heat alone, but with dragonfire, spells, and blood. Only a few hundred Valyrian steel weapons were ever counted in Westeros, and the secret to making more died in a single day. So, what is Valyrian steel? Welcome to Westeros Within, where we journey into forgotten ages, hidden legends, and ancient mysteries. Valyrian steel is dark as smoke, with pale ripples flowing through the metal like waves frozen in place. Even at a glance, it does not look like an ordinary sword. It looks older, stranger, almost alive, and its qualities are just as unnatural. Valyrian steel is lighter than castle-forged steel, yet stronger. It holds an edge so fine it almost never needs sharpening. It does not rust. It does not easily break. In battle, it is one of the deadliest weapons in the known world. But what makes it truly extraordinary is not its beauty. It is what it can kill. Valyrian steel is one of only two known materials capable of destroying a White Walker. The other is dragon glass. That means this metal is not just precious. It may be one of the most important weapons in all of Westeros. And that opens a much bigger mystery. Because if Valyrian steel can kill the others, where did it really come from? Most people assume the answer is simple. The Valyrians made it. According to the histories, the Valyrians began as shepherds on a volcanic peninsula in the Far East. Then they discovered dragons in the mountains known as the 14 Flames. They tamed those dragons, built the Valyrian freehold, and with dragonfire and sorcery, created the greatest metal the world had ever seen. That is the common story. But there is a problem. Ancient records speak of a blade called dragonsteel, used against the others during the Long Night. And the Long Night took place thousands of years before Valyria rose to power. So, if dragonsteel and Valyrian steel are the same thing, then the Valyrians may not have been the first to forge it. Some of the oldest traditions from the Far East hint at a forgotten people who knew dragons long before Valyria. A civilization so ancient it faded almost completely into myth. If those stories hold any truth, the Valyrians may have inherited the secret rather than invented it, which means Valyrian steel may be older than Valyria itself. No one alive knows the full answer, but the clues all point in the same direction. Dragonfire, sorcery, blood. The metal was almost certainly forged in heat far beyond an ordinary furnace, likely with dragon flame. The shaping of it seems to have involved spells as well. Even George R.R. Martin has suggested that Valyrian steel was made through special techniques and magic together. And then there is the darkest part. A Meister named Paul once investigated the smiths of Qohor, the only people said to still know how to rework Valyrian steel. According to later accounts, his questions earned him savage punishment. And what he claimed to uncover was horrifying. That blood sacrifice was tied to the process. Not proven, but whispered. And in a world where Valyrian magic was always bound to fire and blood, the idea is hard to dismiss. Even the legend of Lightbringer points in that direction. Azor Ahai forges a blade again and again, and only on the final attempt, when a human life is given, does the weapon become something greater than steel. Maybe that is only myth, or maybe myth is all that remains of the truth. Whatever the secret was, it died with Valyria. When the doom came, the 14 Flames erupted, the land split apart, and the heart of the Valyrian Empire vanished in fire and ash. In a single catastrophe, the sorcerers, smiths, and knowledge that created Valyrian steel were destroyed. From that day on, No new Valyrian steel was known to be forged. What survived became priceless. Archmaester Thurgood once counted only 227 Valyrian steel weapons in all of Westeros. Great families kept them for generations. Some would sooner surrender lands, gold, or marriage alliances than lose a single blade. Tywin Lannister tried repeatedly to buy one and failed every time. That tells you everything about their value, and nearly every surviving blade carries a story. Longclaw, once the sword of House Mormont, passed to Jon Snow and became one of the most recognizable Valyrian steel weapons in the north. Blackfire, the sword of Aegon the Conqueror, was given to a bastard son by Aegon the Unworthy. That one decision helped ignite generations of rebellion and bloodshed, and one small Valyrian steel dagger, used in the attempt on Bran Stark's life, helped set the great houses against each other and push the realm toward the War of the Five Kings. That is the strange power of this metal. Valyrian steel is never just an object. It moves through history like a force. There is one more mystery. When Tywin Lannister had the Stark Greatsword, ice broken down, and reforged into two new blades, the smith tried to color the metal crimson for House Lannister. It did not hold. The red faded back, and the steel returned toward its old dark tone. The smith put it simply: "These old swords remember." That line sounds like superstition, until you realize how often Valyrian steel seems to resist being changed, as if something of its first making still lives inside it. Not just strength, not just craft, memory. And that leaves the final question. Daenerys Targaryen brought dragons back into the world. Dragonfire exists again. Magic itself seems stronger than it was before. So if someone had Dragonfire and the lost knowledge, and was willing to pay whatever price the old spells demanded, could new Valyrian steel be forged? No one knows. But in a world ruled by fire and blood, that question may not stay unanswered forever. If you want more secrets uncovered from the world of Westeros, subscribe and stay with us. And tell me in the comments, if you could own any Valyrian steel weapon in the known world, which one would you choose? Westeros within. The stories they never told you.